Part 5 of 5. Dr. Chris Colgin here with Leaky Gut Solutions, and I am Jim Chester, and we are going to be talking about community. And so many times when it comes to the community, we just had a pretty in-depth chat about this off camera and about how the effect of one person getting healthy in a household can have an effect on the whole family. And we have a webinar this Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The pre-registration link is above in the comments of this live interview. But I just wanted to jump right in with you, Dr. Chris, and talk about like the household support and what does it mean when we get support from one another when somebody goes on one of these health journeys.
Well, it's huge, okay, and here's why. I've had some patients this year. Obviously, because of COVID, they put on like the quarantine 15, or they just felt like their energy was declining. They weren't feeling good. And the biggest concern they had was that it was going to be the same old story, that they're going to start a new program. And if it was, let's say if they were the daughter or the son living with their parents still, and they're trying, the parents have this story in their head that, oh yeah, here comes another program that you're going to be on that you're probably not going to do, or not going to do the way you're supposed to. You're not going to get the results. All right, let's see how this works. Or it's someone who is married or lives with a significant other, and they're not getting that partner or spousal support as they're going through the program. It's or any kind of life-changing possibility, right? So if I always find that if you don't get that surrounding support with you, I mean, that's kind of like saying, it's kind of like being either whether you're a Democrat or Republican. If you're a Democrat at a Republican Party, you're not going to fit in so well, okay? Or a Republican at a Democratic Party. I mean, you're just not going to get that overall support you need from your peers, from the people who love you the most, and things like that. And inevitably, you're going to fail. So one of the biggest things, one of the reasons why we do what we do in the office in San Mateo is because, is basically to honor, our late mothers. Okay. And, the one thing that we always knew that, moms, God bless you out there, you put everyone first but yourself, and we get it. We love you for it. But I would tell you what, I would rather have my mother here today if she just put a little more energy into her own health and a little more focus, than not, and with the obviously with the result of her not being with us anymore for the last 25 plus years. So, there is that way of looking at things and how life has changed. The mom I had, in my younger years was someone who worked at home or who didn't have to work. She was a stay-at-home mother for a good majority of the time. And then inflation hit in the mid to late 80s and she had to go to work. But if people, members of the family or members of a household are not getting that support, it's crucial that they do. Otherwise, they're just not going to, it's going to be so much harder for them to get the results they want, to get above everything,
Yeah. Some of the things that you touched on there are about familial support, right, and going on this health journey. And when I see what happens with people is one person will say, hey, I'm just going to go against the stream. Right. And then everybody else doesn't really know how to communicate with that person because human dynamic at the household level anymore, there's not a whole lot of conversation going on. It's a whole lot of messaging to each other. And it's a lot of confusion as to why somebody's making a dietary change. But we were talking about the groups and like the households now. You have the children, which have some type of eating concerns. They're pre-diabetic or they're not eating healthy. And then you have the working adults like you're talking about that are in this other sub niche inside the home that are either working professionals and they're not eating properly either. And they're on the run trying to eat healthy meals and it just doesn't come together. And then you have the older generation that are still under the same roof that are sedentary and their diets aren't what they should be. And there's a huge disconnect between all generation gaps. So if we can start having more accountability and more support, more love inside the house when it comes to the meals that people are preparing, the way that they're eating them and the support that they have for one another, I think we're really going to start seeing a healthier dynamic inside of the family unit again. And I mentioned this very specifically because we've taken children and put them into one subcategory. We take the middle-aged adults, the working class into another subcategory. And then we have the elderly, which are another subcategory. And it's very seldom that they all communalize the right way within a household. And I think that what we're doing with Leaky Gut Solutions can help all frameworks of the family unit and teach people eating healthy habits, living on a different health code, and understanding the care of health system rather than a sick care sickness system, which most people get indoctrinated into, and it just becomes a way of life. So I love what we're doing with Leaky Gut Solutions. And the webinar is this Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there's going to be a voluminous opportunity for people to learn about what it is to eat right, what it is to move right, what it is to have good community. But the topic of today is the community inside of the home. And I think that that's so important. And, the accountability that people can have at the homes, at the homestead. And one of those things is leadership. So what happens, Chris, when you see in your clinic or you do some distance help with somebody and you see somebody like going through this and they start making those changes? How does that affect the whole family?
Well, it's pretty amazing. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it from the top down, but also the bottom up. And let's start with the top down. Usually it's let's say the mother or the father, okay, of a family. And, they're at that point. It's mostly the mothers, by the way. Okay. So it's, and so the mom says, you know what, I have these kids, they're young. They have a lot of energy and I am struggling to keep up with them. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way I look, my clothes, they're just not comfortable in their own skin anymore. And so they're looking at ways to perform better, for one thing, have more energy, sleep better at night, and be more attractive. Yet at the same time, they just don't feel that. They just feel they're bloated all the time. They just don't feel like their clothes work. Well, I found that when the mother does that, okay, she goes through her program, she is getting the support she needs. And all of a sudden, at first, there was some resistance from the family of eating certain foods that, let's just say, they're not used to eating, okay? But it's actually healthier for them and more nutritious. They start eating it, and then all of a sudden they start noticing some characteristics changing. With the children, they're a little more obedient. They're not as rowdy. They're more centered. They look healthier. They act healthier. Some of these kids who are just like always getting in trouble at school, all of a sudden, they're being invited by other families to join them and their children, right? At other events. So I've seen it in many different ways. Now I've also seen it too, where you have a young adult. And we'll use a specific patient of mine. She's in her late 20s, Filipino family. We have a big Filipino population here just north of us. And, she has two brothers, a mom and dad. Parents are diabetic. And it's kind of like the brothers they're just eating whatever they want, right? Well, she decides to make a stand. And I said, you know what? I know you shouldn't be the one leading your family, but I'm going to ask you to take this on. Just let them know what you're doing and let them know I don't need your support. I don't need any of your help. I have it. I am being taken care of. I have a doctor who has helped me out if I need anything, but I just want you to know this is what I'm going to be doing so you don't get upset that I'm not eating your food. Okay. Well, she starts doing it and they can't believe her transformation, how much better she looks, how much better she feels. And that they're totally in observance of what she's doing. They're enrolled now in eating healthy with her. And all of a sudden, she has two brothers that didn't give a care at all about cooking, or all of a sudden in the kitchen with her, learning how to cook, okay, from their younger sister. All right. And the parents all of a sudden say, you know what, that looks pretty good. Let me try some of that. And then, all of a sudden there's not as much, typical Filipino family. There's always a rice cooker going throughout the day. And, all of a sudden there's not as much rice being made, or they're not eating rice on every meal, or sometimes they're not eating rice every day or any day. It was really a beautiful thing to see, because you could see the happiness happen in her, but also you could see that it was a barrier she had to get through. She had this story that, I'm just going to fail. I'm still living at home. I wish I was ahead. And once she did that, she realized, wow, I'm a lot further ahead than I thought I was, because now my family's healthier. It wasn't just about me. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, this is the strategy of leadership through health. And it doesn't matter how advanced somebody is with their age, that they can make a positive impact on other people.
Right.
And most people don't know how to make good decisions. So when you start implementing great strategy with somebody that has people around them that pay attention to them, it's going to have an eventual bridge effect to other people in their lifestyle. If I went home to Iowa right now and I tried to get my family to start eating the way that I do and making smoothies on the day and, making sure they get at least one green meal a day,
Right.
it would probably start with a little bit of a rough beginning. But like you said, as soon as people start to find that they like spending time doing things like preparing meals, and they like to have some say in like what is on the menu, and they like to be a part of that, the vibe in the kitchen. That used to be like the bond creator. Like the kitchen used to be like where everybody spent their time and like, had conversations, and then the dinner table's right off the kitchen. So people would like transition from the meal to like the eating, and it was more of a family unit instead of I'm going to get this meal at this place and you're going to order this. And, the dynamic of the households changed so much. So if we can get one person to just become a leader inside the house, maybe it's the 12-year-old that is borderline diabetic and, has some type of an insulin resistance, or they're living a sedentary lifestyle and they don't go out and play, and they start eating right. Like you said, it changes their behavior around other kids. It changes the way that they show up for you, the parent, and it changes the way that kid starts to develop. And here's the last person is the person that's 60 plus that have comorbidities, as we call them in the health world. Like these comorbidities are the reason why most people are getting some type of a entrenched illness. And if we can get these people to curb that by eating healthier, exercising more, drinking more water, and having a good quality of life, I mean, it's not like we're telling people to like, change their entire world around. We're just saying, hey, you do a couple of these things. And this is the part that most mainstream is not talking about. Eating more fruits and vegetables, getting more exercise, and getting around their family actually, and enjoying their company.
Right. And the old saying is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and your family is a healthy you. Right. So that's, and then it becomes contagious at that point. You're absolutely right. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah. And, I was talking to you off camera, and the way that they implemented recycling into the households is they did it with kids. They started doing it at schools, and they started teaching kids that if they started wanting to save the planet, they could start recycling. Well, if we want to start saving the family, now we need to talk about eating healthy, creating healthy habits, and creating a lifestyle around the table again, and getting the full family involved with understanding that they don't have to feel crummy with the foods that they eat, and they don't have to feed themselves sick anymore. They can actually eat for health, and they can actually become leaders in their family through living a healthy lifestyle, and they can actually develop loving accountability, companionship, and that supports everybody within that unit. And that's really what we're going to be doing this Thursday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be doing a masterclass on leaky gut and how each group of the family will benefit from some aspect of the program. And it might not even be your family that's immediate to you. You might have a neighbor, a friend at church, somebody that you used to work with. I know people aren't going to work as much anymore, but we call them coworkers at one time in our culture. You might have a coworker that would benefit from this program as well. So if it's not for you, grab that registration link and send it to somebody else that could benefit from this Leaky Gut Solutions webinar this Thursday. And Dr. Chris, once again, man, tee it up, hit it out of the park, and let's just keep on over delivering with our promise to people to help them become better and more healthy, and to start having resources and a management program that will take them from A through Z on a 6-week paradigm to get them back to where we want them to be, which is having more years in their life and more life to their years. And,
on top of that, you couldn't have said that better either, Jim, is, everything we're doing here is, which is part of our value system is, especially in a time now where, let's just say, there's not a lot of connection with others. Okay. Part of this program, with whether it's in the house unit or the family unit or 21 you lead and aspire to be or be around, or groups you want to be with, is to, provide that connection, and then once you have that, is to have more association. And then with that, from the results you're getting and how much you've changed in a positive way, leads to more inspiration, right? To help others or to help yourself. So that's exactly the importance of community of what we wanted to get across tonight and why that's so important. It's easy to do things alone, but like I said, it's lonely at the top too, as a lot of people know.
Yeah. And, it starts with you. It starts with the people that you have direct impact on. And you have to make the decision to make it a priority. And we're so busy. We can all get busy doing so many things.
Right.
But if we really look at being healthy and well as a priority, this program is exactly for you. The Leaky Gut Solutions is going to be something that you guys want to tune into. Even if you're not thinking that you have leaky gut, right. It might just be something you want to learn more about healthy lifestyle choices. And it's Absolutely. A byproduct that you'll learn about how to repair the gut lining.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't have to, to be part of this program, you don't have to be sick. You don't have to have symptoms. This is also a program that's only going to enhance, digestive and gut function. So, and also protect you and help detoxify. I mean, these are all things that basically, is what the body is designed to do, but you're just going to help it be more efficient than what it is now.
Metabolic health is something that everyone needs, not just those that are fit, not just those that are out of shape, not just those that are struggling with a health condition. Everybody under the sun needs better metabolic health, and they all need better nutrition in their body. That's just across the board. If you were to check everybody out that was actually we would consider healthy, their metabolic score could increase. And right. It's like looking at the person that has the biggest muscles. Their metabolic score can still increase. If you're looking at the person that runs marathons, they can still become more healthy. So right. We're not saying that this leaky gut solution is just for those that are running to the bathroom with bloat and that are on antacids and are at their last string with diabetes. This program's for everybody if they want to have a better quality of life and to be able to start sorting out some of their dietary concerns.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it's for.
Awesome, Dr. Chris. Well, once again, call to action is click the link above, pre-register for this webinar this Thursday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Leaky Gut Solutions will go over so much more and help you transform your life. Thank you, everybody that's been on with us. And thank you, Dr. Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome. Aloha. And we look forward to seeing you all there on Thursday morning.
All right. See you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.